An error budget is a game-changing concept in site reliability engineering that helps teams find a sweet spot between pushing new features and keeping systems stable. The idea is pretty straightforward. Instead of aiming for perfection, which we all know is impossible, you set a limit on how many errors or incidents are acceptable within a certain time frame. This gives teams a measurable threshold to balance innovation with reliability. The basic premise? No system is perfect, and some level of error is inevitable. The error budget is your safety net, a way to quantify how much can go wrong before you need to hit pause on new features and focus on reliability. If you're under budget, you can keep pushing forward. But if the system starts to become less reliable, that's your cue to slow down and fix things. This concept ties directly to your key performance indicators, or KPIs. Things like uptime, response time, or error rates. As you track these KPIs, you'll see how much of your error budget you've used. And when it gets too close to the limit, it's time to shift focus from feature development to fixing the system. Error budgets also work hand in hand with service level objectives, or SLOs, and service level agreements, SLAs. The SLO sets a target for performance, how reliable the system needs to be, and the SLA is what you've promised customers. The error budget is essentially the buffer you have before things go off the rails and you fail to meet those promises. How to use an error budget. So how do you actually use an error budget? First, you need to figure out what level of error is acceptable. This is where those KPIs come into play. You might base it off something like uptime, error rates, or response times. The important part is that it aligns with customer expectations. Once you've defined it, keep an eye on those KPIs, because they're your gauge on how much error budget you've burned through. And of course, you need triggers for when things are getting dicey. If you've used up 50% of your error budget, maybe it's time for a quick check. At 75%, you might want to put the brakes on new features. At 90%, it's full-on reliability mode. When you start approaching or exceeding the error budget, the team needs to prioritize fixing things. That's when you shift focus. Allocate resources towards system stability, tackle critical issues, and make sure the system gets back on track. But the real trick is in balancing innovation and stability. If your error budget is healthy, keep pushing at those features. If it's running low, it's time to focus on reliability. The beauty of this approach is that it gives you the flexibility to do both without sacrificing one for the other. How does this all work in practice? Error budgets are often calculated using a simple formula from the Google SRE playbook. So, if your SLO is 99.9% uptime, your error budget is 0.1%, which means about 10 minutes of downtime per week or around 130 minutes per quarter. Once that 0.1% is used up, new releases pause and the focus shifts to improving reliability. How to manage it all with Harness. Harness makes this process much easier by helping teams manage error budgets automatically. Once you start nearing your budget limit, Harness can trigger actions, like halting new features or launching tests to improve system stability. It keeps everything in sync with your CI/CD pipelines and ensures your system stays within the SLO target. So what's the takeaway? Error budgets let you walk the tightrope between keeping your system reliable and pushing out those shiny new features. They give you a clear metric for when to innovate and when to stabilize, helping you maintain the balance between happy users and a fast-moving team. And that's all for today. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on software development and security practices. See you next time.